Yo, okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do One Piece episode 640 review. That is 640 of One Piece. Now, of course, the link to the episode is going to be in the description box down below on OnePieceOfficial.com. And this episode review is going to be quick because it's actually very simple. I'm not joking this time. It's going to be a quick one because, honestly, the only important things in this episode are the reveal of the little people, also known as the Tontata tribe, and knowing that Flamingo has sent over people to the Straw Hat ship. Of course, when Zoro finds this out, he's very worried because he understands that on the ship are Brook, Nami, Chopper, and Momonosuke. Basically, not exactly the strongest individuals of the Straw Hat crew. Plus, you have a child, Momonosuke. So, obviously, he's very worried about that. And right now, he's trying to go there. However, the Tontata individual, Wicca, the little girl, she wants to go to this place called the Flower Field. Now, they're deviating, or at least Zoro's deviating, but we find out that pretty much since Jump Street, they've been targeted. Ever since they hopped onto the island, they've been targeted. Like, we see this with Sanji and Violet, who actually winds up being an assassin for the Quixote family, also part of the Tribal army. And what's very important to note here is that she's trying to find out information about, like, why the Straw Hats are teamed up with Law, what's their end game, and so on and so forth. And she has this ability called Peeping Mind. And you know how, like, it's a very old school childish thing where, like, you take your fingers, like, you go like this, and, like, yeah, like that shit right there, that's very old school. But that's her stance, quote unquote. And the thing here is, I noticed that when she was doing her stance, her tigos were huge. I'm like, oh my god. So, I mean, there's no balance, no proportion in that. Normally she does have it. Like, when you first see her, she has it. But in this episode particularly, like, her tigos were just massive. Like, they were straight up cantaloupes. It was like, whoa, like, they make no sense. So, sometimes it's just too much, bro. It really is. But let me move on. We also find out that the little people, the Tontata, this little girl, Wicca, has a lot of raw power for, like, absolutely no reason. Like, she just has a lot of raw power. And they're so fast where there's another little person named Leo. And when he was confronting the Marines, him and his boys were able to actually strip down the Marines completely, up to, like, down to their boxers. So these Tontata are very hard to track because of their size and their speed. And they have enough strength to just pulverize buildings. Well, not break buildings. Can't say pulverize, not the technical term, but they can actually, like, collapse a building, small apartment buildings. And that's very impressive. Now, we find out that these Tontata actually have an endgame against Flamingo. And they're taking this opportunity when it comes to the Straw Hats versus the Straw Hats versus Flamingo. Because, well, we don't really know what their complete endgame is, but we know that they have beef when it comes to Flamingo. So, in this country of Dressrosa, even though Flamingo is the king and the majority of the masses serve him and they revere him and they idolize him, the thing here is that there are those among the toys, among probably some of the humans, among these tribe people, the little humans, the little people, the Tontata, that detest Flamingo. Again, Ricky said, I hate Flamingo, I can't stand him, and we don't know why. So, everything on the outside appears to be peaches and cream, but on the inside, you realize that these peaches and cream have been rotten for a very long time. They've been festering. So it's time to take the trash out. And the Tontata and the toy soldier and Ricky and so on and so forth may be the dumpster. So we'll see how that works out. Now, also very small scene here. We see Don Chinchao, and he's hyped. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Like, yeah, this guy's ready to go. These guys are ready to go. And he just can't wait to kill Luffy. He just can't fucking wait. He's stoked. He's like, I'm fucking Mugi. So, Don Chin, what he's gonna do in the arena, only time will tell. But he's pumped. He's ready to go. And we actually hear from Sai and Boo that they have their own mission. They have their own, like, goal. The guys of Kano Kuni. So it appears as if, like, Don Chinchao has forgotten his original mission because of Luffy's presence and his hatred towards Garp. Therefore, opportunity to take revenge. However, there is still a goal for the guys of Kano Kuni as well. So where that fits into the entire thing, we're not too sure. And also know how in Greenville, they're gonna meet with Flamingo in 15 minutes on, like, the eastern shore of the island, and how there's actually like a marine ship, like, wedged and stuck, like, in the foliage, and we have Robin and Usopp scouting ahead, and they actually caught one of the Tontata. So it's pretty much, this episode is actually pretty much more or less set up. It's set up for what's going on the ship. It's set up for the Tontata and their end game, and how Robin caught one, and right now Zoro's actually communicating and working with one. How it's setting up for the next round, Block C, where just Don Chin is really pumped, and they have their own mission, the Kano Kuni boys, and how Sanji has pretty much honestly, earnestly believes that Violet is actually a good woman, and she starts to cry at the end of the episode. So, and that, I think, actually ties into Sanji's COO, his color of observation hockey, because, again, Oda stated that that's his strongest ability, and he always, it's always about, like, a woman's tears. Like, he always goes along those lines. Like, he can hear and he can tell when it comes to a woman's tears. So, everything that kind of goes along those lines, I can always assume that it's his COO actually perceiving a certain situation, or perceiving the emotions of a woman, or something along those lines, pretty much. So, that being said, alright, overall, the episode, it's okay, it's not bad. The animation, it's like, when that one part where Violet was walking over, like this, like, it looked so sloppy. I'm like, oh, it really did, it looked sloppy as fuck. The pacing, they did cover quite a bit, because we get to see Sanji, we get to see Zoro, we get to see what's going on with Luffy, and they're going to start Black Sea real soon. We get to see the Tontata and what they're all about. Well, not what they're about, we see what they look like pretty much, and how they're very relevant right now when it comes to Zoro, and of course in Greenbit, where apparently I think is like their home base. Of course, we find out that there's something going on with the Straw Hat, you know, ship, and so on and so forth. So overall, it was an okay episode, not bad. So King of Lightning, be sure, of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace! Have a nice day.